Hello from Canada to you. So in this video I'm going to show you how it looks like in Canada in April. This is the April 1st of 2023, and as you can see right behind me, everywhere still snow. You can see things that I'm wearing because it's cold. Today it's just like fabulous. It's 2 degrees plus, maybe it's going to be 3 degrees plus Celsius. So this is a bit unusual for the weather. You can still see lots of snow, almost a meter high, see, it's almost as tall as I am, or half the size. This is just like the amount of snow and the amount of snow you have to consider in the whole winter time that you need to clean up from your driveway almost every day. Well, depending on how often it snows, but it can be a lot. And if you're alone, especially if you're elderly, then it can get on your muscles and everything. If you're young, fit, no problem. This is just here me walking on one of our side roads between the houses. See, everywhere snow, everywhere. And right now it's like, I'll show you, melting everywhere. See, so usually it's a good sign that it smells, right? And you're thinking, hey, Eugene, don't complain. It's melting everywhere, so spring is finally arriving in Canada, right? Well, the problem with this is it melts during the day. At night, it's all slippery because there's ice everywhere. Because it gets warm in the streets during the day, during the afternoon, and then everywhere is ice. In the morning, you're driving to work, ice everywhere, so you have to be careful. You walk around, ice everywhere. Every year, at least like in the city, elderly people, they break their bones and stuff, like legs and such, because they're walking around everywhere. It's slippery, and then you go. So for old people, for old folks, it's not ideal. So what we do here is called mole walking. This is everywhere they do, like when it's cold. They do it in the States as well, right? So if it gets too cold, old folks, they just go into the malls, take their walks there for half an hour, meeting friends and such. Or like really actually like walking around in fitness shoes and such, instead of walking outside. Because when it gets minus 30 degrees, you're not going outside. A few people actually doing it, because then they wear all the protective gear and such. You do have to wear protective gear, otherwise it's getting cold and you might freeze your lungs, and then you have to go to the hospital. And if you don't, because it does happen in Canada that people actually do die from the cold. Waiting on the bus, I can tell you, waiting on the bus station, minus 20 degrees, wind chilled. So if the wind is blowing as well, minus 20 feels more like minus 30, minus 40, and really, and not just like feeling, you can feel it in your face. Your face gets all red, will hurt and everything, and you have to apply some gel and everything, like to your lips, to your face, because everything gets dry. So some people are saying the cold is really good for the skin. Not true, believe me, not true at all. And one of the things is, in the springtime, quagmires everywhere. So when you walk around, it can be a bit nasty. You have to wear boots, not sneakers. That's the difference. If you're wearing sneakers here, that's gonna be a mess. And you end up with dirty shoes, cold feet, and you're gonna get sick. And the thing is, every springtime it's just like overflowing. See, like the ice here. So it's soon, just like there, it's gonna be all wet here. All wet everywhere. The system can't just handle it. And you might be thinking like, whoa, why don't they just clean all the snow and everything? Good question. The answer is, it's just too much. It's just way too much. We have snow here everywhere. And the thing is, you have to dump it somewhere, right? So, and trucks loading the snow, they're working tirelessly in the worst case scenarios, like when you suddenly get like 20 centimeters, 10 centimeters of snow suddenly, and then you have to get rid of everything. It takes a while, it takes a long time, all the streets and everything. But so this is the other thing in emergency times. So suddenly there's a snowstorm and everything, you still have to go to work. You do. Unless it's really terrible, then you call your employer and say, well, I can't come to work. Well, that's on you, remember. Unless you have sick days, then you can take one of your sick days, otherwise you're not getting paid. So people, Canadians, they do take their shovels, dig their car out, literally, I mean literally dig their cars out of the snow, and then it's go to work. And it can be terrible after a snowstorm. The highway is full of snow, all the streets are full. You might be 1 hour late to work because everything is just slowing down, and you see accidents everywhere because people, this is like one of the funny things, Canadians, every year they get surprised by snow. And now that we have more new Canadians like me, people are not used to the snow, not used to the slippery roads and everything, and they have accidents and more. And then we have traffics every winter, and it's getting terrible. But it's just one part of living here, especially like here in the prairies. I mentioned in the first video, I live in the prairies, city of Saskatoon, province of Saskatchewan. Here in the prairies our winters are longer. Take a look at this. Isn't it beautiful? For people who love winter, it's just absolutely beautiful. But the winter here in the prairies is longer, 2 months longer or so than in the coasts. And if you go up north to our territories, if you live there, there are some opportunities, well-paid opportunities, and opportunities for businesses and such. However, if you go there, it's tough. You have to be really conscious about the snow, about the cold, about the winter. It takes longer, so half a year or more really is snow time. I have a cousin and she's working up in the north. I don't know how she's doing it, and she lives in a kind of place with like a heat stove, like with wood, so she actually has to make a fire and stuff. I couldn't live like this, and she's living there like I think 2 years or so. Respect for her for working there. She lived in the East Coast, Toronto, might have heard of it, and then moved there for a job opportunity, and still there. I think I couldn't do it, and like I'm honest with myself. The winter here is already really tough on me. My health is not, I used to be really healthy, but the winter is really tough on my health. In the future I will have to relocate on the coasts for a better weather situation. But this is really it. See, April, all snow. It's gonna melt in like 2-3 weeks, it's all gone. But imagine like in your place where you're living, how it looks like in April and how it looks like here. If you ever consider to come to Canada, better make sure you go to where you want to be. Or if you're gonna come here, you might be thinking about staying here for maybe 1 or 2 years. Or if you have a visa situation that requires you to stay a few years, be prepared for this. It's beautiful, but it can be tough. See you in the next one. Cheers.